How you doing? Welcome back to Get Real Bass Fishing headquarters here. Right now we're going to go over some freshwater stuff, freshwater lures. When we go out on the boat, well, I'll say to use the boat for the first example. When we go out on the boat, the first thing I like to do is we leave the dock, and what's the first thing I do? I open up some boxes and I take out maybe a half a dozen lures. And from there, I may go back to the boxes and find other stuff. But I'll start with the primary, like 6 lures that I take out. I like to take out a couple of top water lures, so that if we get into the areas where it's a little shallow, and we're doing some top water stuff, I like to start out with torpedoes, a Heddon torpedo. This is the baby torpedo. This is in bullfrog color. So that would be one of my go-to top water lures. Anything in frog color actually would be my preference. The other preference would be a Zara Spook, which is actually a Zara Spook Junior. This one, which everybody seems to get a kick over, this is my Bill Dance Signature Series Heddon Zara Spook Junior, changed to Barbarian hooks, Gamakatsu Barbarian hooks. This one's actually seen so much action that it's cracked in half, up the center and across the side, and I've epoxied it back together because it just catches fish. And I can't find this color anywhere. So if you know somewhere where I can find this color Zara Spook, please contact me. So that would be my 2 go-to top water baits. Now, if we get into an area where we find that fish are hitting some bugs on top during the day, I like to use things like a Hocus Locust. They seem to work well, which is basically the same effect as a jitterbug, except much smaller. And they simulate I think they simulate a bug better, where the jitterbug pretty much simulates frogs. So those would be my go-to top water baits. Then part of those initial 6 lures will also probably be a spoon. And for bass, pickerel, perch, all around lure, I like the Little Cloe. I'm not sure what they call the color, but basically it's like Fire Tiger colors. This one's actually missing most of it because they honestly don't make a quality paint on the Little Cleos, so they wear out real easy. The colors wear off of them, but they do catch fish, so I will give them that. And they come in various colors. Daredevil's also a pretty common spoon. I like the Little Cleos better. This is actually a larger Little Cleo that I changed the original treble hook to a much smaller hook because yellow perch tend to go after this pretty good, and I like to have a smaller hook for a yellow perch. So Little Cleo would be my spoon. So that's 3. I also like the Rattle and Rapala in Fire Tiger, okay, which is the Rattle and Rapala. I'm not sure of the size because this does come in a larger size. This is the smaller one. I also like this in baby bass color. So those 2 color variations would be my choice. Then we have the Red-Eyed Shad. I like Red-Eyed Shads in red, and I like Red-Eyed Shads in red-yellow. Okay, so one of those 2 would be in my top 6 lures to take out when I get on the boat. And those would be my swim baits. What are we up to? What was that, 4 or 5? Okay, whatever. So then, let's go to crankbaits. Crankbaits is really an easy choice for me. The choice for crankbaits is the Storm Subwort, which you can see this one still has stuff on it from the last fishing trip. Storm Subwort, getting harder and harder to find, so I find them online. The color I choose 9 times out of 10 is going to be Hot Tiger. Comes in 2 sizes. The larger size, if I'm fishing bigger water, such as bigger lakes, deeper water, I'm going to go with a larger size Subwort. If I'm fishing golf course ponds, smaller ponds, Both run very shallow. The larger one runs up to about 1.5 feet. The smaller one runs less than a foot. So the smaller one definitely in shallow water. You could throw this in a foot of water, and as long as the weeds aren't too high, you can get it through. In fact, I was fishing a small body of water the other day, and that was the lure that caught the one fish that I did catch. So Storm Subworks is the crankbait of choice. Now, as you can see, I have a whole box of crankbaits that come out with me, but that's going to be my primary crankbait. Now, I also have different. Here's a Bumblebee Lure. Again, this dives down. This is a spoon, bill front diver, and that dives down. This has really tiny hooks. This is great for sunnies. There's big bluegills and pumpkin seed sunnies in the area, as well as bass. Bass will definitely pick off a bumblebee like that. Okay. Again, the Subwork comes in about, I don't know, 6 or 8 different colors. Here's a crawdad color. This is, I think they call this one natural. Then there's a perch color. There's a baby bass color. So they make a great lure. Again, it's a shallow lure, so it's definitely not a crankbait that you're going to want for swimming deep. And then the final choice of my top lures to pull out of the box would be, and it's not in there, there it is, would be the Mepps inline spinner. Mepps makes thousands of lures, but our go-to lure, and we call it the magic spinner now. This one's still wet from fishing yesterday. That's exciting. The Mepps Aglia number 3. I guess that's how you say it, Aglia, Aglia, and it's a number 3 with the white tail, brass bead things. This has been like the fantastic bait the last year or so. It comes in different sizes, but the bigger sizes, like this is it. That's the number 4 long. This is it in a number 5, but then the beads they're not brass, they're yellow red. Haven't had near the action on this as we have on this. Now this also comes in a long version, similar to this, where the spinner itself is longer, and that's pretty much the difference. Is that they put a bigger blade on it, more like a willow blade, and it gives it a better action. And I've had a lot of luck with it like that. So that's my top 6 go-to lures for freshwater fishing. For bass, pickerel, perch, you name it. That's what's going to hit it.